In this video today, I'm about to share with you guys how the live scopers out in the middle of the lake with this guy right here got beat by the lipless crankbait and other old school techniques. Okay guys, so in this video, I'm about to talk about how these professional tournament anglers with some of the best experience and knowledge, right? How they missed out on a bite at Lake Ouachita, one of my local lakes. Now guys, before I go into this, I'm not knocking the anglers, okay? They're some of the best, a lot better than me. All right guys, I get it. But there's something about Lake Ouachita that I get to be a part of and other Arkansas anglers that normal kind of anglers across the country do not. The biggest thing is it's a highland reservoir. And of course, guys, you think highland reservoir, rock, standing timber, right? But this lake has grass, okay? Table Rock Lake doesn't have grass. Bull Shoals Lakes doesn't have grass. I mean, the lakes on the East Coast with blueback herring does not have grass. So these tournament anglers came to Ouachita, and there hasn't been a big tournament on this lake in a long time. So let's break down what they missed about the grass bite. Now, guys, after the tournament took place, there was a local, Jeremiah Kendi, which is considered one of the best on Lake Ouachita right now. Probably the best in the last 10 to 15 years, maybe longer. And there's a few locals that are really good. He's considered in that mix. Kendi actually said on a recent podcast on Bass University, if live scope was not on anybody else's boats, if they went out there and fished without live scope, he thinks he would not have won. But these guys came to the lake, and they all have live scope, and they wanted to go out in the middle of the lake, fish them drains, fish the standing timber, and go throw at the fish around bait fish or just random fish in the trees. Jeremiah and other locals, because there's a bunch of locals that fish the lake. I'm gonna give them all props. All the locals that fished it are good anglers. The locals realized real quick, hey, these guys are not fishing grass. We get to fish grass. Now, why did they not fish the grass? Because guys, leading up to it, they had 5 days of practice. And the conditions were not right. That's the first thing I'm gonna put out there. The conditions were not easy for the grass. When you have days, it's bluebird skies, and it was warming up, no wind, hard to fish the grass. But guys, even in me and my history, there have been times on those days pre-live scope, if you throw a jig in that grass, your 5 bites are gonna be good ones. The guy that led after the first day, fished grass. Jeremiah, which I think was in second or third, had 20 pounds almost, but he should have had 24, 25. He just did not execute all the way. So these guys that traveled here, they, I think, got scared of the grass. They, one, have never fished it, okay? And like I said, Bull Shoals Lake, Table Rock Lake. You look over there on the East Coast, all those blueback herring lakes, no grass. They had no experience fishing it. The second thing is, there was no tournament history on the lake. Not much videos out there, not much Bass Live. And the locals that had all the information and knowledge didn't want to sell it out. Okay, there's a lot of anglers that travel, try to buy information, try to get stuff. The locals were tight-lipped about it, and just with our population of fishermen around here. Now, guys, with this grass though, too, I want y'all to realize, and the pros that came down here, some of them that are fishing the EQs all 9, they might not be trying to win. They might just be trying to get points. So I get that. If you're one of the EQ guys or you know them, I'm not knocking them. They're trying to get their points. They're trying to be the top 9, where the locals could try to win, okay? But what I want to get to on the grass is, guys, this grass isn't small. It is massive flats. It is on points. It is in ditches. It is drains. Where do you start? If you guys watch lakes where there's cypress trees, you could fish 1,000,000 cypress trees. Find that one cypress tree area that has them. It's the same with grass. But what I'm disappointed in watching this tournament, previously, I mentioned on the video, I thought the scopers were going to find fish in the grass. Guys, a week before the tournament, I went out there and scoped fish in the grass. Guys, I went out there, watched them, okay? Watched them. And I was thinking, these live scopers are going to come and figure this out, and I'm going to learn something. But instead, they all went out in the middle of the lake and, you know, threw this little jig head minnow around. Okay, right? Where's my jig head minnow? Here's one right here. So they threw this jig head minnow around, and they could not beat the guys that were fishing up shallow and throwing these lures right here. Now, also with it, there's guys in the river section that caught them bladed jig, crankbait, old school fishing techniques, but the river bite kind of got out. The word got out, a lot of people went up there, smaller areas, but on that lower end of the lake, this guy became a player. And one thing about Jeremiah, I'll say, that I noticed, okay guys, I don't know Jeremiah, but on the championship day, he fished the moment. It sounds cliche because I work with Fish the Moment. But guys, there was a north wind that came in. That dude started right there near the ramp, was fishing points, ditches, drains with rock and grass that was getting banged by the wind. That's fishing the moment. He wasn't fishing secret spots. He was fishing areas that got hit by the wind. Today I'm on a lake and we have a southwest wind. We're about to go out here and fish this southwest wind, okay? Because we're fishing the moment. And when you're fishing that clean water, okay guys, the wind does help this bite. Now, Jeremiah did say on Bass University that he caught his biggest fish with the live scope. He threw a Kitech swim bait, sawed off the edge of the grass, okay? He did mention that, you know, and I could tell by the pictures he was throwing a spinning rod because you see it laying there in the boat, guys, so it's okay. Like I said, I mean, he said it, but he mentioned how he had a lot of grass spots to himself, and those dudes that came down missed that opportunity. Now with this though, guys, I'm not knocking this and the other anglers. I love throwing this. I caught a lot of big fish with it. There were a lot of big fish at Lake Ouachita caught this week. We're about to talk about why and why the big fish were caught with this, but was it really Ouachita showing out? That's one thing I was going to ask you guys. I'm a mathematics guy. I have a mathematics degree. I love statistics, and I heard a couple numbers we're about to talk about here. Okay, guys, so there's some big fish caught Lake Ouachita this week, and I've been a part of a bunch of big fish catches myself recently. So, guys, the big fish, as we heard, was caught live scoping with a jig head minnow. Now, guys, with it though, that's interesting. Jeremiah and other anglers said about 70% of the field was out in the middle scoping. They saw the clear water, they saw the map. They're going to go out in the clear water and scope. And one thing those professionals realize is that in Arkansas, we don't have the bait fish population that Texas does, that South Carolina does, that Georgia does. So one thing they struggle with real quick is finding bait fish. Then they see fish. And also with that fish they saw, they didn't know if it was stripers, crappie, white bass. There's so many pictures of those guys out there of them catching everything. Now, but let's go back to the big fish. So there's a 10-pounder caught, 9-pounder caught, 11-pounder caught in practice, and everybody's fighting. I'm excited too. I want the state to have big fish caught and out there recognized, okay? I've even got a lot of crap lately for putting my big fish out there that we put people on, you know, but no, we need to brag about our lakes. I'm all about bragging and helping out. But let's talk about Ouachita. 70% of the field scoping, if that's the word. That's 140 of the 200 boats. Okay, here comes my mathematics side, guys. 140 of the 200 boats. Let's say 120 of them are scoping. I'm gonna even go down now. Those dudes are legit at it, okay? That's one thing that Kendi said. He knew he could not go beat them doing it. Now, the guy that got second, Matt Baker, he's really good at it, okay? I've never fished with Matt. I've just heard me talking with Matt a couple times. He's really good at it, okay? Now, Matt in the tournament did both throwing a jerkbait, the Mickey rig. He threw this guy right here too. I saw 2 big fish catches with it on tape on that last day, and y'all can go to bassmaster.com, guys, and see them share their lures, okay? But let's say 120 are live scoping. They're throwing at a lot of fish. A lot of fish. I don't know how many fish they throw at. I know I throw at a lot of fish, okay? You don't get them all to bite. You don't. So think about those guys. Let's say they throw at 20 fish, 50 fish, probably 100 fish. How many are they getting to bite? And then you heard these guys talk about, I thought it was a striper, so I threw at it. I thought it was I thought it might have been this. None of the guys came out and said, oh, I knew that was a black bass. So that's part of this with live scope. And hey, I'm all about the live scope. It's fun. It makes it fun. But if I was fishing a tournament, I'm not soling out on this guy right now with the conditions that we just had. That's one thing that those dudes, I think, kind of missed, that we had that warm trend. And those fish, a lot of fish went up shallow on that grass. Once again, that's a whole thing. And when they go to the grass, they don't come back out, okay? When they go there, they stay. But guys, if you're throwing at fish that are not bass, how much time are you wasting, okay? And I think a lot of those dudes were throwing at times, wasting cast, right? And guys, those guys are legit. There were anglers there that have caught 16-pounders before on live scope that have caught this and that. They're not no just random rookie. So those guys missed opportunities to fish like you see behind me. That rounded point over there where there's grass in 15 foot to 5 foot, okay? So that's a chunk of it. And guys, once again, at one time, as y'all saw Jeremiah in the video, I mean, he's fishing the moment, but he's spot locked fishing. People loved it. Loved it. I mean, I thought it was fun too to watch. But guys, you can still see them dudes on live scope. That's why I'm just surprised that they didn't go find them. But anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this style of video, okay? Just kind of talk about a little bit. I didn't go on the techniques and patterns, but like I said, it was just neat to see and how people come to your lake and fish it, but then also get to realize how they miss some opportunities. But then missing that opportunities gave one of our local guys, it's a really good fisherman who I'm excited about. He gets to go to the Bassmaster Classic, and he's one that's gonna go make a charge and compete in it. I believe so. Appreciate it, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.